Hi, I'm Chitra and you are watching Masala Box Travel YouTube channel. Today we are watching one more vlog from the Tanzania series. I'm here to take you through the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. If you have not yet watched the Serengeti National Park, it's already up on the YouTube channel. Before I take you on a ride through the conservation area, let me first show you the place we stayed. We stayed in this beautiful lodge called Octagon Lodge in Karatu. Karatu is just outside the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. So this was apt city or a town to halt overnight and start in the morning to the conservation area. Almost all through the Tanzania wildlife parks wherever we stayed, the tents or cottages were of similar nature. A simple setting but yet cozy and gives you all the amenities to settle for the night. 2 beds set apart with woolens and rugs provided because the night gets cold. The tents that we opted for in Serengeti will not have walls like this, but in Karatu it's a proper town, you have a proper lodge, so you have good walls giving you proper insulation from cold. So you have the bathroom as a separate section, you have the washroom as a separate section. Not very fancy on toiletries and stuff, but all the basic stuff are provided. You have hot water, you have your bottled drinking water, ample space to put your luggages, and exceptional food as always. It was so warm everywhere we went in Tanzania. They recognized us as Indians and would give a lavish vegetarian spread. We would then be like, we are open for non-veg as well, and they would bring out the non-veg dishes. But the food was always made sure that it is suitable for our palate, though we are very good food explorers as well. Mornings we were surprised with puris because the chef knew we were Indians and we very much liked the dinner as well. So this lodge was had ample space and you can go around cycling and stuff. But we didn't have time. We halted overnight and early in the morning we started off to get into the conservation area. So Ngorongoro Conservation Area, the moment you enter the main gate, you have to pay the parking entrance fee. And then it is not like your drive starts from the gate. It's not like you have entered the conservation area and the safari starts right away. It's not like that. Let me first give you an explanation of how the Ngorongoro Conservation Area was formed, and we will take from there. First of all, the conservation area is called as a Ngorongoro Crater. So these were all active volcanoes once upon a time, and then the volcanoes have died up. There is no longer this is not an active volcano, but the surrounding area has 5 to 6 volcanoes and couple of them are active. So what happened millions of years ago, the volcano has cooled down, it collapses in. When it collapses in, it is called a cauldron. So they called it actually a Ngorongoro cauldron. When it collapsed in, it became a viable habitat for the wildlife to stay. This is also the only conservation area where you'll see humans residing inside this conservation area. Only the Maasai tribe is allowed because they don't hunt the wild animals, they are more on cattle and sheep. And still they are not inside the actual cauldron or the crater. They are on the outskirts of the rim of the volcano, and you would see these Maasai stopping you from time to time. They would invite you to their village to have a look, or simply the kids dance and ask for money. They obviously look for in dollars. So you can take a tour of this Maasai village tour as well when you are passing through or passing through to Ngorongoro crater. So you have to pass through a couple of volcano rims, and then once you're on top of the rim, this is the gate you have to enter. So it takes roughly around 1 hour for you to reach the conservation area. From this rim, you will be able to see this conservation space. So this is your Ngorongoro Conservation. The lake that you see inside is the crater, and you can see the clouds looming over it around the rim of the volcano. So we will now have to descend into the rim. We've been circling, we came up, we will circle, and now we will descend in. So we can already see wildlife going around in the conservation area. These are my favorite wildebeest, walking around like ants. We will drive further into the crater now to see the thriving wildlife that's there in this conservation area, especially around the lake. We have now come into the rim, and by the time you reach, there are already jeeps zooming around. The very first showstopper that as soon as we entered was a sub-adult lion. This was my first visit in Tanzania, and Serengeti was after the Ngorongoro. So in Tarangere we didn't see the lion very prominently. So we were super excited to see lion as soon as we entered into the park. He wasn't particularly in the mood for a hunt, and from a distance he gave out a call to his sister or brother, and that's when we turned to notice one more lion sitting perched on a branch after having a refreshing drink in a small pond nearby. And so close to it was an elephant as well. This coexistence is what you could see happening very often in wild Africa, both not afraid of each other. While we were observing the lions, we saw a jackal on our left running into the bushes, and a rare sighting of serval cat. It's very rare to find serval cat in the jungle, and this was just standing there posing for us. You can see all the jeeps are rushing towards the lake, and that's where most of the activity happen as well. It is the Lake Magadi in the crater, and just driving around this lake is enough to see all the wildlife you have on your bucket list. That is an excellent place to have an afternoon siesta. I sincerely thought this hippo was dead, but no, he's just taking an afternoon siesta. It's lovely to see both the lesser flamingos as well as greater flamingos at the same place, and they were performing a dance for us. Some of them were flying together in a flock, some of them were moving back and forth, some of them were busy eating. It was a lovely place to see. While this was happening on the right side of a jeep looking into the lake, to the left side just of the gypsy were the grey crowned cranes. This was a new sighting as well for we Indians. The water bodies do not limit just the birds, but the mammals equally are attracted towards the water bodies. There were water buffaloes, zebras, gazelles, even other antelopes, hippos. They were all around the water bodies. We got to spot some hyenas as well. Can you spot what I'm spotting through the binoculars? This was at a very long distance. You can think or you can see they are all water buffaloes, but no. These two are rhinos. The rhinos, I wish, gave us a closer look, but they were having a sip at a very long distance, and if not for a guide, we could have definitely thought they were a bunch of buffaloes. And at this distance, we saw a mother and calf walking towards us as well. They chose not to come any closer to the jeeps, so we had to see from a distance through the binocular, and the cameras helped. I'm going to say this Ngorongoro Conservation Area is truly more like a supermarket of wild animals. Anything that you want to see, whichever direction you see, you'll be able to spot something or the other in this conservation area. Look at the massive size of this hippo. I used to be always fascinated with the size of Indian gaur, but this one is a mammoth. Next, adding to my excitement was a lion. And this lion was not a sub-adult, this was pretty old. It had a head full of mane, and this was the first time I was spotting an African lion with such head full of mane. This was nothing compared to our Asiatic lions. They were huge, their mane covered the whole of the lion. I mean, in Serengeti, we got to see so many other lions, but this being a very first sighting of such a huge lion with a wild mane made it the most memorable sighting of this Ngorongoro Conservation Area. We stopped here for a good half an hour and enjoyed watching him panting away and doing all the cat stuff until too many gypsies started to crowd and we decided to leave. But the lion decided to cool in the pond and have its afternoon siesta. And then at the distance, thousands of wildebeest grazing around. These wildebeest don't necessarily participate in the migration because they are inside the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. Now we have climbed up the rim again, and some of these animals like the giraffe or the elephants or some of the antelopes don't necessarily descend into the conservation area because it is a steep going down and they don't necessarily go into the conservation area. So there are certain set of animals that you would see while driving into the conservation, and there are certain set of animals that would decide to stay in the conservation or the crater and they wouldn't come outside the crater to the rim, like the cats and the zebras and all those birds staying around the lake for its comfort. So the crater rim also gives you opportunity to spot something unique, like these antelopes which we are spotting for the first time, called topi. And in African language, or the Tanzanian language, they call it blue jean antelope because its leg alone has this mark. This is one of a unique antelope we got to spot in the region. Needless to say, a lot of giraffes, which is their capital animal or representing Tanzania. So the best time to visit Ngorongoro Crater is from June to October, and this is also a good time to watch migration. So you can pair Ngorongoro Conservation Area, and it's a must visit when you are in Tanzania, over any other national parks when you're pairing it with Serengeti. If you're looking for greener pastures, then the wet months post your December or April to June would be there, when it's all green and nice to see. The option to stay as well, you can stay within the park, that will attract a fee, or you can stay outside the park and drive into the park. Just getting out, we get to see a tree full of fruit. It's not a fruit, it's vultures. There was a kill nearby, and these vultures were all sitting atop this tree, like as though the tree, acai tree, is bearing some big fruits. With that, we are back on the road chasing gypsies towards Serengeti, towards our dream destinations, towards watching wildebeest migration. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please do like, share and subscribe to Masala Box Travel. Oh, and please look out for the next video because we are now heading to Serengeti.